Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back here with another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing Thor: The Dark World 2012 review here on the channel. So yeah, this is going to be part of my ongoing reviewing the MCU. And in today's case, we have Thor: The Dark World, which is going to be coming in at part number 6 on my list here. Yeah, I know Iron Man 3 comes before this, but I just reviewed it because it's easier. I reviewed it before it. So yeah, this is part number 6 of the series. So yeah, anyways, let's get into it. So firstly, I'll give my initial thoughts, give the bad, the good, and final thoughts slash the score. So my initial thoughts, I don't like this movie at all. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This movie is probably the worst MCU movie. Can't even lie, just straight up. Honestly, like this movie is just terrible. I don't really enjoy it one bit. Well, I enjoy some things, but yeah, it's probably the worst MCU movie. If I can, I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, it's the worst MCU movie in my opinion. Uh, but I mean, that being said, like let's see if there's something good. So I rewatched it. Now let's get quickly into the bad. So actually, I'm gonna do this one a little different. I'm gonna switch around the bad and the good, just because there's a lot of bad and a little good. So yeah. In terms of good parts, two things kind of, three things kind of be out to me. I really enjoyed. Actually, I enjoyed Loki throughout this movie. I thought he was a redeeming force. I thought he was pretty well written. Showed character development. I actually enjoyed Loki. He wasn't even bad in this, and I enjoyed especially too of the fact that he's not even like the main villain of this movie or anything. He's not even a villain technically in this movie, which I actually do enjoy. It makes the story a little bit more better in my opinion. Is yeah, they're transforming Loki into this more anti-hero esque character, which I actually enjoy a little bit more. So yeah, I gotta say he's probably one of the most enjoyable things out of this movie. Now the second one, uh, I know this could get very mixed opinions on it, but I mean, I actually really enjoyed the scene where Curse was in the prison, and then he broke out. That was actually a pretty good scene. I mean, it's not the greatest scene or anything. It just was like an interesting like. I enjoyed the action part of it. I mean, it was pretty enjoyable with the action and stuff. But I mean, was it like perfectly written or anything? No, by no means it was not written perfectly or anything. That scene, but I mean, it's still again. Just still was like it still was a good action sequence as well. So yeah. And then third final thing, personally, I actually like the character designs. I thought the Dark Elves actually looked pretty cool. I mean, yeah, again, that's another mixed opinion, but I thought everybody in this movie looked pretty decent. I mean, Loki's costume was pretty cool. Thor's costume was pretty cool. Malekith, I mean, he looked a little too humanoid, if you know what I mean. Like, he looked he's supposed to be a dark elf, right? But I mean, he just kind of looked like a human. So I'm not gonna say him, but I mean his henchmen did definitely look cool. Uh, yeah, I liked how they modified it and stuff. If you've ever seen what the dark elves look like in the comics or in animation form, you'd know what I'm talking about here. Uh, so yeah, they did kind of like modify it a little bit, but I mean that's all right. So yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it for the good parts. Now let's go for the bad parts. So there's a lot of bad parts, but I'm gonna really try and summarize it into like the biggest bad parts, and if you know what I mean. So first of all, Malekith, terrible villain. Didn't really enjoy him at all. He had no kind of like nothing that made him good. He was just a straight up terrible villain. Literally, he's just an angry man who's like, I want to kill Asgard. Blah, blah, blah. I want to kill Thor. That's like literally what he was, and I just kind of dislike that. Uh, as well as I feel like this movie tried to gear you up to be thinking this is some war epic, especially with or some medieval type fighting thing. Especially within those scenes with like curse and stuff, and then you finally go to the end of the movie and it's just barely even good. Like Thor literally just beats him up and he's done. Like there was barely any fighting. It kind of sucked. Like it had a terrible kind of fight. So I really just didn't enjoy the end battle. Another thing, writing wise, is just completely bland. Nothing was really enjoyable in terms of writing. Just it was kind of written horribly. I hate to say it. It was written very bad. It wasn't the best written. I mean, maybe perhaps a little bit of the deaths was written pretty good. But I mean, nah. Even when Thor's mother died, that was just written kind of bad. I can't even lie. Just a lot of the scenes weren't written properly. It just felt as if, again, like they didn't really care too much. So that's another thing. Writing's pretty bad. Music choice, again, pretty shitty. And another thing I want to touch on a bit is kind of like in Thor movie, the first one. Sorry. You if you notice, there were certain elements. If you want to see what I dislike, you could go check out the review, which should have been already posted. But yeah, there were like certain elements that were kind of terrible, and what I guess whoever is making this movie tried to do is what they were trying to do is essentially they're trying to dial back certain elements, and I mean I can't even lie. It kind of they didn't do it properly, and it just made it worse. I mean, like they tried to dial back a lot of the side characters except for Jane Foster, which I yeah again I heavily disliked the fact that they kind of dialed back those characters and then maybe kind of dialed up Jane Foster, which is all right, but I mean again it just kind of was a little bad to see that kind of happening. Is they mess with the dolls a little too much, and they tried to bring in more Asgard, less Earth, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that was the next thing. Uh, yeah, I mean, just all around this movie's kind of bad. I can't even lie. It lacks a lot of different elements. I'm glad we got Thor Ragnarok though. I'm glad though with that, but I mean, yeah, it just lacks a lot of elements. My final thoughts, honestly, this is a pretty bad movie. I don't like really watching it too much. I mean, I just watch it for you guys' entertainment of this review. But I mean, yeah, I'm not like the biggest fan of this movie. Probably the worst MCU movie in my opinion. But yeah, and score wise, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10, 3.5. It's pretty trash. Didn't really enjoy it too much. But anyways, that's pretty much it though. Thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.